What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one, DBTV here, back with a brand new basketball talk video. If you're not a best one yet and you are an NBA fan, I recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. It'll really help the channel grow, and you already know, the grind is real. We finally reached 1,000 subscribers. Before we get into day one of free agency, I just want to thank all the best ones out there who have subscribed to this channel. I will continue to keep delivering the best basketball content for you guys, and I hope you guys really enjoy the content moving forward. And we will be doing $100 worth the giveaway on this channel. Within the next couple days, I will be making a video announcing what you have to do in order to enter yourself in this $100 giveaway. Probably going to be doing 5 $20 gift cards, so there will be 5 best ones who win a gift card, $20 worth. Also, we will be doing a DBTV room tour pretty soon. Right now, this is the current background for the new videos moving forward. You guys finally got the channel to 1,000, and I told you guys I would do a DBTV set room tour, which should be coming out hopefully sometime next week. I can't wait for you guys to see this. It is sick how I turned this entire back of my basement into this insane set. So, now I'm done talking about me. It's time to talk about the NBA free agency day one. Right now, it is August 2nd, 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. The reason why I'm giving you guys the time is because I am going by what Adrian Woj has tweeted. And by the time this video goes up, there might be a lot more free agency signings that I missed in the video due to the time of me shooting this video. So now, as of 11 o'clock Eastern Time, August 2nd, I am going to be going over every signing that has happened from 6 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow, we will go over day 2 of free agency. But for now, let's get into it. So we start off with the first signing of free agency that Adrian Woj dropped as a bomb. We already knew this was going to happen. The New Orleans Pelicans guard Lonzo Ball has agreed to a 4-year, $85 million contract with the Chicago Bulls, which will be a sign and trade, which I don't have the details for the sign and trade, but we're going to talk about Lonzo Ball to the Chicago Bulls and what I think about it. I am very excited for Lonzo Ball. He is one of my favorite young players in the NBA. I've always been a huge fan of the Ball brothers, Zoe, Jello, and LaMelo. Love their show as well on Facebook, Ball and the Family. Great friggin' show. I'm very happy for Lonzo Ball because I feel like, yes, in New Orleans, he developed a three-point shot, and he has gotten a lot better through the years. But now I really want to see what he can do in the Eastern Conference, because we all know the Western Conference is stacked, and I feel like Lonzo on the Chicago Bulls team is really going to turn things around in Chicago if they keep getting the right pieces alongside Lonzo and Zach LaVine. I feel like LaVine, this is a perfect duo here. LaVine is the offensive threat. Lonzo, obviously, he's that playmaker that is a perimeter defender with a consistent three-point shot now. And I feel like it's only going to do wonders for this Chicago Bulls team. I give this signing an A+. I feel like one team that really missed out on Lonzo Ball, and I feel like they're going to regret it years from now, is the Boston Celtics. In my opinion, I feel like Lonzo Ball would have been the perfect piece for the Boston Celtics, and this is coming from a Boston Celtics hater. Alright, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, and they took away a lot of assets from us with that Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce trade. So I'm not trying to be biased here. I really think Lonzo would have been the perfect piece for the Boston Celtics. He would have really helped Tatum and Brown get better shots. And I feel like overall, Lonzo would just make the players on the team better. And it would just be a better team basketball environment. And Boston right now is lacking a culture. And I feel like Lonzo could bring that culture. And he's just going to make the people around him better. But Chicago got Lonzo and he secured the bag. I give it an A. Easily. The next signing we have, free agent guard Alec Burks has agreed to a 3-year, $30 million contract to stay with the New York Knicks. Alec Burks, he had a pretty good season. I feel like he's a very underrated player. $10 million a season, that's usually what these shooters are getting nowadays. I feel like it's a little bit overpaid. The Knicks should definitely be focusing on getting bigger names. But hey, Alec Burks, he had a good season for them, and maybe it will be worth the contract. I would not pay Alec Burks 3 years, $30 million. So I'm going to give the Knicks on this one a C. It's definitely a mutual signing. It's not like they overpaid the guy. Now, the next free agent we have is Nerlens Noel, and he is returning to the New York Knicks on a 3-year, $32 million contract. Here's how I feel about the new Nerlens Noel signing. I think great move for the Knicks. I hate the Knicks. Obviously, I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, so we have the biggest rivalry with them. But I'm going to be honest here. Nerlens Noel had a great season with the Knicks, especially when Mitchell Robinson got injured. Nerlens Noel really stepped up to the plate, and he really played good for them. Now, what are they going to do about Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel? I don't know. But good for Nerlens Noel. He got a pretty good contract. I feel like he deserves it, and he's only going to get better from here on out. This signing, I'm definitely going to give the Knicks a B. Nerlens Noel has lots of promise, and I feel like he fits Tom Thibodeau's coaching scheme. Now, on to the next free agency signing. Restricted free agent Jarrett Allen has agreed to a 5-year, $100 million contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers. This one, I am very happy for Jarrett Allen. I was very high on Jarrett Allen when we drafted him back in 2017 with the 22nd pick, I believe. He has just gotten better every single season, and we all knew, the real Net fans knew Jarrett Allen was going to get the bag, and that is why Sean Marks flipped him in the Houston Rockets trade for James Harden. And still to this day, I feel like the Rockets, they should have kept Jarrett Allen. I feel like he would have been a great piece with now drafted Jalen Green. I feel like he would have been a very good fit for them. And all they traded, I think, was they got the Cavs just gave him a first-round pick for Jarrett Allen, which to me is not that bad at all. And now the Cavaliers, the future is looking bright as long as they keep Colin Sexton. Jarrett Allen, he deserves the 5-year, $100 million contract. I feel like he is going to easily be a top 5 center, and I won't be surprised even if this season is his breakout year where he maybe becomes most improved player. Maybe a little prediction there. I love Jarrett Allen, and congratulations getting that bag, and hopefully things work out for the Cavaliers. Now, the next signing we have is free agent Kelly Olynyk has agreed to a 3-year, $37 million contract with the Detroit Pistons. This signing right here for the Pistons, I feel like is a good move. I don't know if Kelly Olynyk is worth that contract. I know after the Miami Heat trade with the Rockets, Kelly Olynyk started balling in Houston. I feel like it was a little bit of like empty stats on a shit team. And I feel like Kelly Olynyk, for the Pistons, I think will have a significant role over there. And they are trying different things. And I feel like he might actually be a decent piece to Cade Cunningham's puzzle. So this here for free agency signing, I'm going to have to give this a B-. I'm actually going to give this a B-. I feel like this is a very underrated signing for the Pistons. And I feel like Cade Cunningham is only going to make Kelly Olynyk better. Now, on to the next signing here. We have all-star guard Mike Conley has agreed to a 3-year, $72.5 million contract to stay with the Utah Jazz. I think that this is probably what realistically was best for the Jazz. They're not a free agent destination, and Mike Conley actually did ball out with them this season, and they have something good going over there, but the problem is that they can't bring this momentum into the postseason, and that is something that the Jazz really need to start doing. They are a great team in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, they don't really play well, and they forget how to play Jazz basketball. This, I think, is a great signing for them. Mike Conley had a great year. He plays great with Donovan Mitchell. He is getting up there in age, though, so I feel like through time, this contract is going to look bad, and it's going to be bad, because the best years for Conley are definitely gone. He still has a little bit more in the tank, but he's definitely not that Memphis Grizzlies Mike Conley that was dropping 20 points a game. This signing I am going to give a B only because it's average. It's an average signing. Mike Conley's still a good player. On to the next signing here. We have Tim Hardaway Jr. re-signs with the Dallas Mavericks. 4 years, $74 million contract. Well-deserved. The only player besides Jalen Brunson and Luka Doncic on that team that is doing good is Tim Hardaway Jr. He deserves the money, but I feel like the Mavs should be going after more pieces. They need to definitely be spending more money, and they need to just give Luka new pieces to work with. They need to find a way to get rid of Kristaps Porzingis, because clearly Porzingis wants to be the number one guy, and he's never going to be the number one guy when you have a superstar in Luka Doncic. I feel like Tim Hardaway Jr., they overpaid him a little bit. I feel like the Mavericks, they could have definitely signed a better free agent. I feel like they're just right now in panic mode. They're trying to do whatever they can do to keep Luka happy. And what they've been doing is not the best signings or moves. I'm going to have to give this Tim Hardaway Jr. signing a D. This is my first D, I think. He's definitely not worth 4 years, $74 million. Clearly, it hasn't been working in Dallas. They should be using that money on more shooters, more defenders, better pieces around Luka Doncic. I'm very disappointed in the signing. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's a baller, but I feel like in Dallas, it's just not a perfect fit. On to the next signing here. We have TJ McConnell has agreed to a 4-year, $35.2 million deal to stay with the Indiana Pacers. I feel like this is actually a very underrated signing. TJ McConnell for 4 years, $35 million, that's really not bad if you divide that contract by 4. He's really not getting paid too much. And he's a very productive player. He has a very good release. He's a good playmaker, and he fits the Pacers. But the Pacers, they need to really get themselves some other pieces as well on their team. I feel like the problem with the Pacers is easily the coach. And I think having Rick Cardell, I don't know how to say his name, having the Mavericks' former coach as their head coach now, I think is a great move for the organization. And I feel like they're really going to make a drastic improvement, because usually they do end up being only first-round exits. And I think TJ McConnell is a great backup point guard for that team. And I think any team in the NBA would love to have TJ McConnell as their backup point guard. I'm going to give this signing a B. TJ McConnell, he is a good player, and this is really not overpaid if you do the math. Now, here's a big signing that we get to talk about. Kyle Lowry has signed a 3-year deal with the Miami Heat. Kyle Lowry is not playing for the Toronto Raptors anymore. They did a sign-and trade. We're going to talk about Kyle Lowry, though, to Miami. Great move for Miami. I feel like they've been lacking the legit point guard position for a couple years now, and I feel like this is just a great move. You gotta build around the Heat. They need to change something, and they are actually doing it this offseason. They're making underrated noise. Defensively, they are looking way better, and I feel like Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler are going to play really freaking good together, and this is exactly what the Miami Heat needed. I give this signing an A+ easily. Kyle Lowry, great signing for the Miami Heat. This is really going to help the Miami Heat keep that momentum from what they had in the bubble going into the finals. I'm very happy with the Kyle Lowry signing for Miami. As a Brooklyn Nets fan, I'm kind of scared of the Miami Heat. I still think a healthy Brooklyn Nets team could beat any of these 29 other teams, though. But still, Miami is making some noise. Some underrated noise. Now, the next signing we have is another Miami Heat. Duncan Robinson has re-signed with the Miami Heat. He has agreed to a 5-year, $90 million contract to stay with the Miami Heat. I think that this is a great move for Miami. He deserves every single penny of that contract. This man went from being an undrafted player, grinding in the G League, to getting a starting role on a pretty good Miami Heat team. And I feel like Duncan Robinson is one of the best sharpshooters in the NBA, easily. And for 5 years, $90 million is not bad for a three-point shooting league. And I feel like with the Kyle Lowry signing and still having Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and these underrated pieces, Duncan Robinson just fits in there perfectly. And don't fix something that's not broke. I give the Duncan Robinson re-sign easily an A+. He's a shooter. Shooter's gonna shoot. Now, the next free agency signing, we have Tori Craig has agreed to a 2-year, $10 million contract with the Indiana Pacers. I feel like this is a decent move for the Indiana Pacers. I like how every offseason they sign underrated talent for low contracts, and then they do their role in Indiana. They play good, and then they usually reward them and give them even more money, which is something I've really seen with the Pacers. They are very loyal to the players that they have, and I think that this could be a very good move for them. Tori Craig, he's always been just a decent role player. He just goes team to team. I don't really care for the signing too much. I feel like because it's the Pacers, I give this a C+ easily. If it was not the Pacers and it was maybe another team, I probably would just say like a C, D. Won't really care too much, but it's the Pacers, and I feel like just need the good coach, and now that they have the good coach, they have the players, they should be able to execute. On to the next signing here. The Phoenix Suns have re-signed all-star guard Chris Paul to a 4-year deal that could be worth as much as $120 million. This is the signing that I am very disappointed in the Phoenix Suns for. Chris Paul is, I believe, 36 years old. I feel like this was the last time Chris Paul was ever going to get a ring. This was his opportunity. This was his last chance to get that ring. And unfortunately, the Bucks, they came out strong, and they beat the Phoenix Suns in 6. I feel like Chris Paul does not deserve this amount of money for the Suns. I feel like the Suns should have definitely went after like Spencer Dinwiddie or just another point guard in this free agency. I feel like Spencer Dinwiddie probably would have been a perfect piece for the Phoenix Suns team. They could have definitely put him in there as a younger version of Chris Paul, and he could have played very good and done the playmaking for that team. This signing, I am going to have to give this a D-. Chris Paul's still a great player. I think he still has one more good year in him. After one more year, he's just going to keep declining, and that contract is not going to be tradable after this season. And it just doesn't help that the Western Conference, they are all going to be healthy again, and the Suns, I feel like, just don't have a chance to make it back to the NBA Finals and get Chris Paul that ring. Love Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, and I do love Chris Paul. I just think that he's just up there in age. If this was prime Chris Paul, then by all means you give him that money. You give him that money, but this is a peaking Chris Paul that you gave $120 million to. Which I feel like is why Chris Paul is not winning rings. Because the problem is with him is he won't take a pay cut to win a ring. And that is the biggest problem with these players. I said it in my Spencer Dinwiddie video. You can't have both. You can't have the money and you can't have the rings. You have to sacrifice if you want to win a ring. Now, on to the next signing here. We have Fergan Korsmaz. He has agreed to a 3-year, $15 million contract to stay with the 76ers. I think that this was A+ easily. A+ signing. You're getting a really good sharpshooter in Korsmaz for 3 years, $15 million. That's only $5 million a season. That right there is a finesse. Fergan Korsmaz, I feel like he's definitely worth a lot more than 15 mil, especially in a three-point shooting league. And he fits perfectly with the 76ers and with their delusional Ben Simmons trades where they want 4 first-round picks for the guy that literally can't shoot a free throw, let alone a mid-range shot, let alone a three-point shot. They want 4 first-round picks for. They're definitely going to be keeping Ben Simmons for a while, and they need all the shooting in the world. So this trade easily A+. This signing A+. A+. Now, here we go. The next signing we have is free agent Zach Collins has agreed to a 3-year, $22 million contract with the Spurs. I feel like this is a very underrated signing for the Spurs. You are getting a great stretch 4 player in Zach Collins for only 3 years, $22 mil. Very underrated. I feel like he never really got the opportunity to show what he can do with the Portland Trail Blazers. They just have something going for them, and he just didn't really fit with that team. I feel like with San Antonio, with Greg Popovich and the young team that they are building that are all underrated and have a chip on their shoulder, I feel like this is just great for both parties. I feel like Zach Collins is just going to fit right in with the Spurs. And I feel like with Greg Popovich by his side, Zach Collins is definitely going to see a huge improvement. 3 years, $22 mil. I'm going to have to give the Spurs a B+ on this signing. I feel like a lot of people don't really know what Zach Collins can do, and I feel like with the San Antonio Spurs, with one of the greatest coaches of all time, he is going to be one of the best players on that Spurs roster. On to the next signing here. We have free agent forward Mike Muscala. He has agreed to a 2-year, $7 million contract to return to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm going to be honest, I don't care about this signing whatsoever. We'll just give it a D. Now, next signing we have is free agent forward Trevor Ariza has agreed to a 1-year deal to return back to the Los Angeles Lakers. In case you guys didn't know, Trevor Ariza won a ring with Kobe Bryant back, I believe, in 2009. I feel like this is a great move, even though this Lakers team, they have a lot of old players. They all know how to play their role, and I feel like Trevor Ariza, especially for like the contract that he got, it's not even that bad. And I feel like LeBron is going to utilize Trevor Ariza. I feel like Ariza is going to be pretty much LeBron's Shane Battier, LeBron's Richard Jefferson, and he's just going to do his role, and he is going to do it the best he can. I give this signing a B. I feel like it's a good signing for the Lakers. Now on to the next signing here. We have Gary Trent Jr. has agreed to a 3-year, $54 million contract to return to the Toronto Raptors, OVO. I think that this is a great signing for the Raptors. Gary Trent, he had a drastic improvement as soon as he left the Portland Trail Blazers, and he has just been balling for the Raptors. And I feel like a Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr. court, that could be a pretty good duo right there. I think they are definitely a play-in dark horse, for sure. I'm going to give this signing probably just a B. It's a B. Now, here we go. So, another signing we have is free agent Dwight Howard is returning to the Lakers. This, I believe, is a one-year deal. I think that this is a great signing for the Lakers, and I really don't understand why Dwight Howard left the Lakers to go to Philly that 1 year. Really didn't understand it. I felt like he did really good with the Lakers. I'm going to give this signing a C. Don't care, but I think he is going to do his role, and he's going to play good. Now, the next signing we have is free agent forward Solomon Hill has agreed to a one-year deal to return to the Atlanta Hawks. I'm going to be honest, I don't care about the signing whatsoever. I'll give them a C. Next signing we have is free agent Evan Fournier has agreed to a 4-year deal. Whoa. That could be worth as much as $78 million with the New York Knicks. This is what I've been waiting for. A dumb New York Knicks signing. Let's give a role player in Evan Fournier 4 years, $78 million. Oh my God. In this case, the Celtics were smart for not giving this man that damn money. Knicks, you played yourself like you always do. I really don't know why you're giving Evan Fournier, who is literally a role player, 4 years, $78 million. He, I guess, is the saving grace of the Knicks, and he is going to win you a championship. I guess he is what's missing with the Knicks. Y'all be chanting, "We want Brooklyn." But you sign Evan Fournier, who got his ass handed to him against Brooklyn in the first round in the playoffs. You played yourselves, Knicks. You played yourselves. It's only a matter of time before you guys just go back to where you were in the dumpster fires. Because what happened last season, it was impressive, but it was easily a fluke, alright? Let's be honest. It was a fluke. You guys are probably going to be in the play-in tournament this year. Especially with Evan Fournier getting some of that dough that you should be giving all-stars and stars to come to New York. You have the role players. You have the pieces. Why do you need to pay Evan Fournier 4 years, $78 million? Easily F. This is a F. This is what the New York Knickerbockers do. Nothing has changed, New York Knicks fans. Nothing has changed. So you might as well return your tickets for next season at Madison Square Gardens, and you might as well throw away your disgusting orange and blue jerseys, and might as well get yourself a Nets jersey at the swag shop and come to Barclays and watch a real winning team play. Because we are the best team in New York. Next signing we have is free agent guard Derrick Rose has agreed to a 3-year, $43 million deal to return to the New York Knicks. This, I'm going to put my bias to the side. I hate the Knicks. I hate them more than any other team in the NBA. But let's be real, this is a good signing for the Knicks. Derrick Rose is a baller, and he is one of my favorite point guards of all time. I just wish that he just went to another team where he had better opportunities to play. But unfortunately, he signed a 3-year, $43 million deal. Fortunately, Derrick Rose does not want to win a championship. I'm going to give this signing a B, I think. Signing D. Rose, that was a great move for the Knicks. But I still don't get why you're signing Evan Fournier for $78 million. I think Derrick Rose is way better than him, and he's getting paid less. Sheesh! Another Chicago Bulls signing, free agent guard Alec Caruso has agreed to a 4-year, $37 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. I think that this is a very underrated signing. Alec Caruso, he did his role to the best of his abilities with the Lakers, even won a chip with them in the bubble. And I feel like that the Bulls, they got themselves a solid backup point guard now. And him and Lonzo played pretty damn good together in that summer league when they both were rookies. I feel like having them reunite is going to be very good for that Chicago Bulls team. And he's not a scrub. He can ball. 4 years, 37 mil, I think is really not bad for Alex Caruso. I'm going to give this definitely a B. I'm going to give this one a B. On to the next signing here. We have free agent center Daniel Tice has agreed to a 4-year, $36 million deal to join the Houston Rockets. This signing I really don't care about at all. I'm just going to give this a D because now he is a part of the High School Musical group called the Houston Rockets, because they're all in this together. Take it L. They have really been going nowhere since getting rid of James Harden. And I just feel really bad for Jalen Green. Such a talented guy. And he has to play with a scrub like Daniel Tice. On to the next signing here. We have free agent center Cody Zeller has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Portland Trail Blazers. I feel like this signing, I don't really care for it. But I feel like it's a good signing for the Trail Blazers. I think he will be a decent backup center for them. And he's going to do his role, but does it really make a difference for their team and Damian Lillard? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think Cody Zeller is the answer to get Dame Dollar a ring. What they need to do in Portland is trade CJ McCollum and get themselves another star to pair up with Damian Lillard before he leaves that team. Cody Zeller is not that star. I'm sure it wasn't a big contract either. On to the next signing here. We have the New Orleans Pelicans have signed Charlotte's restricted free agent guard Devonte Graham on a 4-year, $47 million contract in a sign and trade deal, which I believe was a part of the Lonzo Ball deal. I feel like this is a great signing. Devonte Graham really showed that he can ball before LaMelo became the cornerstone franchise player for the Charlotte Hornets. I feel like Devonte Graham is going to be a good player for the Pelicans, but they are not helping Zion Williamson's decision. I feel like this is not going to help them. This is going to help them get a couple more wins maybe, but is it going to help them get to the playoffs? I don't think so. And I feel like if they don't make the playoffs this season, Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram are leaving that team. And they will actually be only left with Devonte Graham. I think it is a good signing. Devonte Graham is not a scrub. I think a 4-year, $47 million contract is really not that bad for him. I'm going to give this signing a C only because this is not helping Zion Williamson stay in New Orleans, alright? Next signing we have is free agent guard Norman Powell has agreed to a 5-year, $90 million deal to return to the Portland Trail Blazers. I feel like he is a good player. He does his role. But is he the answer to Damian Lillard winning a ring? I don't think so. I feel like he would be a good role player to win the championship with Lillard, but I just don't care for Norman Powell that much. This signing, I'm probably going to just have to give it a C. It's neutral. He's a good player, but it doesn't bring the Portland Trail Blazers to the next level, unfortunately. Now, here we go. 6-time All-Star forward Blake Griffin has agreed to a 1-year deal to stay with the Brooklyn Nets. Let's go, baby! We have re-signed Blake Griffin for 1 more year. I love the way Blake Griffin played for this team. I wish that we would just trade DeAndre Jordan already and just give Blake Griffin that friggin' money, because this man has been balling for us and playing his role. And this year, we have to win the ring in order to keep Blake Griffin and bring him back to Brooklyn. No, there is one more that they actually didn't, Adrian Woj didn't actually tweet out. So the last one is Jeff Green, 2 years, $10 million to the Denver Nuggets. This one really makes me sad. I loved the way he played in Brooklyn, especially in that playoff game with Kevin Durant. That was such a great performance by Jeff Green, and I'm just disappointed that we did not give this man that contract. I feel like we definitely could have afforded to sign Jeff Green to that deal. But of course, we won't trade DeAndre Jordan yet. I'm disappointed. I loved Uncle Jeff. He was really good for the team. He played very good with KD. But he got a very good contract and a very good deal over with the Nuggets. And this actually is a very good move for them, bringing him back. I'm going to give the Nuggets on this one a B+. They got themselves a nice veteran for the team. He's definitely going to be coming off the bench for that team. And defensively, he's going to really help that team out. So, there you have it with the free agents. If there is any of them that I missed, I will cover it tomorrow on day 2 of this free agency, these free agency videos. If you guys enjoyed it, please smash that like button now. If you're not a best one yet and you are an NBA fan, I'm telling you, hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications. It really helps this channel grow. And you already know the grind is real. We are going to be posting recaps of free agency every night for the most part until things start dying down. I really want to start posting lots of content on here. So help us out and subscribe. Links down in the description below. Go follow me on my social medias. All the links are down below. But to all the best ones out there worldwide, Best One Nation, we are taking over.